All right, moving on to a very important and controversial topic here in our state and in our valley. Democrats and Republicans are working behind the scenes this morning, as you know, in the Capitol, the nation's capital, to strike a compromise on the controversial immigration bill. Democrats want family ties to play a bigger part in the green card application process, while Republicans are looking to toughen the legalization process for illegal immigrants. Meantime, immigration is likely to be the key issue tonight at the Republican debate. The presidential hopefuls squaring off in New Hampshire. This will be the third time the candidates will meet. Thousands and thousands of immigrants sneak into this country illegally every day, many of them risking their lives, making the trek on foot, and especially dangerous this time of year. Some of them die trying, others making it across only to be caught by Border Patrol later and sent back. It's a hot issue, one that has triggered protests, debates, even a change in federal laws. And a state lawmaker from Tempe concerned about the problem, so he recently made the journey himself across the desert from Sasabe, Mexico, to Tucson. It's 75 miles. Representative Ed Ableser joins us now live. He's in Fox News Central. Good morning.
Good morning, Rick.
Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely.
Looks like you cleaned up quite a bit since the video that you took showed us.
Yeah, we didn't have a shaver, we didn't have showers, we didn't have anything, and I couldn't wait to get home to take that first shower and shave my beard off.
Yeah, okay. Now, you took these pictures, right, or had some people take these?
I actually carried a camera with me and chronicalized my journey through it.
And you could see these pictures as we roll them?
Sure.
Okay, let's roll the pictures. And well, where are you now, and what was the desert like, and how hot did it get?
I believe it reached temperature about 105 was the hottest through our 7-day journey. It actually turned out to be 77 miles because we did get lost one day and took a two-mile detour. We walked through the Buenos Aires Natural Wildlife Refuge and came up to the 286, which led us to the 86 highway, and that brought us straight into Tucson, Arizona.
Now, did everybody have, provisions, food, water?
Absolutely. We were well cared for. It was sort of a luxurious trip when you consider what some of the people go through risking their lives crossing that 75 miles without the water, without the food. I had medical attention. I still have 4 blisters on my feet, and they're bandaged pretty well.
So tell us how you felt about it, and how physically taxing was it?
It was a very, very physically taxing. I didn't know what to expect. There's a lot of talk about immigration, especially in the State House, and I felt in one way I wanted to go down and see it from firsthand experience. I wanted to understand what people truly went through crossing the desert. And on the other hand, I wanted to also honor those who would risk everything. They lost their lives. We see about 500 people die in the desert every year, risking their lives trying to reach the freedom and opportunity that I get to enjoy in this country.
And your message, we played a soundbite of you earlier this morning, and the message was what? That we have to help these people? What's your message?
Well, I believe truly that federal government must act swiftly on a comprehensive immigration reform, and I know there's working from both sides of the party, Democrats and Republicans alike. And the fact of the matter that death is not politicized. We can't look at death and try to make it into a Republican or Democrat issue, because it's not. Death is an unfortunate aspect of life. I met a 14-year-old orphan who was getting ready to take a trek through the desert. He has no family in Sasabe. He has a sister here in Phoenix who's a citizen, and this is his second attempt to try to cross that desert. And I'm just hoping that next year, if I take this trek, that his name is not one of those that's on the cross.
Yeah. Well, most of the people that watch this program, that respond to our polls, and many people here in the state believe that these people who are immigrating here illegally should be kept out. And there should be a wall and more increased patrols and more of an effort to keep illegal people out of the country until they could, do the process legally. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely. That comes back to the concept of of our laws and why we have laws in the first place. And unfortunately, we're seeing tremendous amounts of death occurring in the desert because of our broken laws. And that's why federal government must act swiftly to install a comprehensive immigration reform. We have families that have been separated for over 20 years, and that's unfortunate. We're a country that's built upon families and the family structure and holding people together so that they can build up and pursue the American dream. And that's all I ask, is that the federal government move swiftly to create laws that will, in that turn, give opportunities to those seeking the same freedoms and opportunities that we enjoy in this country.
There was a story in one of the national papers not too long ago that actually profiled many of people coming from not only Mexico but South American countries who were on their way across the border illegally, and many of them, if not most of them, had already lined up jobs with companies and businesses in the United States.
We see a lot of that. And when we talk about immigration, we're talking about jobs first. Here in Arizona, when I was a senator last year, I got tremendous amounts of calls from farmers saying we need more workers to come farm our fields. We don't have enough individuals to fill the jobs that is demanded upon our society. On the other hand, you have families that have been separated for quite some time. Those are the individuals that I came across in Sassabee that are trying to come to this country. Now, unfortunately, they're doing it through illegal measures, and that's why it's our responsibility to look at our laws, look back in our history and recognize that we might have to change a couple of things to turn this into a lawful method of citizenship so individuals can come if that's what they choose, or if they want to come and get a job. But we need to recognize that my cross through the desert was all about the dignity and humanity of life. No one should ever have to die through the desert through dehydration and starvation. That's just a horrible death.
Yes. So where do you go from here? What's your next step?
I believe just continually talking to other fellow colleagues in the State House, letting them recognize the pains and dehumiliation that people experience throughout their trek across the border. I told some of them a story about a 14-year-old girl who was only recognized because of the 3 plastic rings on her finger. The rest of her body was unidentifiable. And that's sad because she died in the desert alone, away from her family.
Thank you very much for coming in.
No problem. Thank you, Rick.
From the State House, a state representative who actually experienced it himself.
77 miles.
Yes.
Approaching 7:30 on a Tuesday morning.